Hello and welcome to the Bot Box. First of all, I would like to apologise to all football fans who happen to be watching this. I am not a football fan at all, even though I played in primary school. The number of actual professional footballers I can actually name is really small. So, Robo Savage, a silver-coloured box flipper with red dragon wings to reflect it being Welsh, and a green wedge. Robo Savage was in the Battle of the Stars, and as my apology at the start of the episode indicated, a footballer was linked to this robot, namely Robbie Savage. Of course, there was also a roboteer attached to this robot. The roboteer attached to Robo Savage answers to Thor. Also Jason Marston. Thor just happens to be Jason's robot's name. First up for Robo Savage was vertical spinner Cadena Machina. Robo Savage being in the second Battle of the Stars episode. So I've probably covered some of these fights. In fact, I have covered some of these fights already. Cadena Machina hit Robo Savage but had a hard time moving towards the flipper. Robo Savage wasn't moving well either and missed a flip, but got a second chance when Cadena Machina turned its back on the flipper. It's generally not a good idea to turn your back on a flipper. They have a tendency to send people flying. But Robo Savage missed, and Cadena Machina responded by breaking the flipper with its spinner. A driving battle ensued, won by Cadena Machina when it took out one of Robo Savage's wheels. It then hit one of Robo Savage's dragon wings before Robo Savage got counted out. So Robo Savage was in a hole early on, and next faced Crusher, Soldier Ant. Soldier Ant shoved Robo Savage into a corner before Robo Savage escaped and tried to flip the Crusher over. Alas, Robo Savage missed and paid for this by gaining a nice hole in its armour. A second hole followed, but Robo Savage escaped and flipped Soldier Ant right onto the flame pit. Soldier Ant could not self-right and was counted out before getting into a fight with Matilda and losing said fight with Matilda. So next up for Robo Savage was a Thwackbot, D, and Robo Savage actually had a chance of making the final. Robo Savage rammed D early on, but had steering issues. D managed to hit Robo Savage twice. Both robots ended up with dead metal, but both escaped, which is pretty good. D drove on the flame pit because, of course, the flame pit is there, people drive over it. And hit Robo Savage again. The result was D got a puncture again, and Robo Savage got a bent flipper, which actually affected Robo Savage's ability to flip things, because with a bent flipper you can't get undo a robot properly to send it flying. So a ramming stroke spinning fight began, Robo Savage doing the ramming and D doing the spinning. Robo Savage actually nearly managed to get a flip in this time out, and the judges were called in. They ruled in favour of D. However, Robo Savage managed to get through to the final anyway, so yay. However, the reward was Cadena Machina, or at least getting to fight Cadena Machina. Robo Savage got off to a tentative start. Cadena Machina hit Robo Savage's left wheel and broke it, taking the rest of Robo Savage out with it. Cadena Machina landed a few more blows before Robo Savage got counted out, and then roasted by Sir Kill-A-Lot over the flame pit. Robo Savage wasn't a bad bot, probably could have done with better driving, but considering that it was not being driven by people who have had experience in robot driving, the bad driving's not brilliant. Driving is understandable. Robot driving is a lot harder than it looks. And Robo Savage, it did have a vulnerable weapon. It did get damaged quite easily. And the wheels are fairly vulnerable as well, but that's the same was true of a lot of the Battle of the Stars robots, even Kadena Machina. Speaking of Kadena Machina, there's no shame in losing to Kadena Machina. It was pretty vicious. So, who's next? Well, it'll be Kadena Machina for all we know. Oh, one has actually already flown out of the box. Let's see what it is. Great, fanfarings before I finish my thing. Ooh. Here's some Latin for. Here's a Romany based one. Vercingetorix. Until next week, Callison244 out.